This is unrecyclable waste from solar panels, and this is waste from wind turbine blades. As we rush to embrace renewable energy sources in our fight against climate change, we may be trading one environmental crisis for another. The green energy revolution promises a cleaner, brighter future. But beneath the surface of solar panels and wind turbines lies a darker reality that's often overlooked. Let's dive into this problem together. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos about energy production and storage technologies. Renewable energy has been hailed as the solution to our climate change woes, with governments and activists pushing for a rapid transition away from fossil fuels.
We have the solutions. Well, we know them. It's a rapid transition away from fossil fuels. Just take green energy, which today is cheaper than fossil fuel-based energy.
Wind and solar power, in particular, have seen massive growth in recent years, with countries like Germany leading the charge. Today, between 40 and 50% of Germany's energy comes from renewables, such as wind, solar, and hydro. On the surface, this seems like a move in the right direction. However, a closer examination reveals that these supposedly clean energy sources come with their own set of environmental challenges. Solar power, often touted as a green alternative to fossil fuels, faces a significant issue with toxic waste. Well-made solar panels have a lifespan of 20 to 25 years, but the flood of cheaply made Chinese panels entering the global market can break down in as little as 5 years. Many of these panels contain highly toxic chemicals that are harmful to human health and can cause cancer, such as lead, cadmium, and chromium. Unlike nuclear waste, the toxicity of these elements never decays, posing a long-term environmental hazard. The problem is exacerbated by the lack of proper disposal protocols for solar panels. When panels break or reach the end of their useful life, toxic chemicals can leach into the soil and contaminate public water supplies. Moreover, there is currently no comprehensive plan to dispose of these panels safely. The vast majority of decommissioned solar panels are likely to be shipped off to countries with inadequate waste management infrastructure, particularly in Africa and other developing regions. This practice essentially exports our environmental problems to areas least equipped to handle them, perpetuating a cycle of environmental injustice. Wind power, while celebrated for its low carbon footprint once operational, has its own set of environmental challenges. The most visible of these is the waste generated by wind turbine blades at the end of their life cycle. These massive blades, often measuring over 100 feet in length, are made of composite materials that are difficult and expensive to recycle. As a result, many decommissioned blades end up in landfills, where they can take centuries to decompose. The scale of this problem is set to grow exponentially in the coming years. As the first generation of wind farms reaches the end of their operational life, we're facing a tsunami of blade waste. It's estimated that by 2050, there will be 43 million tons of blade waste globally. This presents a significant challenge for waste management and raises questions about the long-term sustainability of wind power. Beyond the waste issue, wind turbines pose a serious threat to wildlife. Hundreds of thousands of birds are killed by wind turbines every year, including rare species like eagles. The toll on bat populations is even more staggering, with over 1 million bats falling victim to wind turbine blades annually. This massive loss of wildlife raises questions about the true environmental cost of wind energy. Both wind and solar power face an inescapable challenge that no amount of technological advancement can fully resolve. Wind turbines only produce energy when the wind blows, and solar panels are only effective when the sun shines. In some locations, this means these renewable sources are generating power for as little as 10% of the time. Even the most efficient wind and solar farms only work optimally 30% of the time. While it's true that most solar and wind farms produce some amount of energy around 75% of the time, the inconsistency of this power generation poses significant challenges for grid stability and reliability. This intermittency issue means that we will always need a more consistent energy source, such as fossil fuels or nuclear power, to cover the downtimes of renewable sources. Some proponents argue that advances in battery technology will eventually allow for the storage of excess power from renewable sources, enabling a fully green grid. However, current battery technology is nowhere near capable of meeting this need. The world's largest battery array, built by Tesla in Australia, can only sustain 30,000 homes for an hour. The scale of battery storage required to power entire cities or countries for extended periods is simply not feasible with current technology. Moreover, the lithium-ion batteries used for energy storage create their own environmental challenges. These batteries contain toxic materials and are difficult to recycle, often generating unrecyclable waste at the end of their life cycle. The production of lithium batteries also has significant environmental impacts, including water pollution and habitat destruction in lithium mining areas. As we scale up battery production to meet the growing demand for energy storage, we risk creating yet another waste crisis alongside solar panel and wind turbine waste. The land use requirements for renewable energy sources are another often overlooked environmental concern. To build large arrays of wind turbines and solar panels, vast areas of land must be cleared of all vegetation and wildlife. It's estimated that to power a country like the United Kingdom exclusively with wind and solar power, up to 25% of the country's land surface would need to be transformed into wind or solar farms. This massive land use change would be disastrous for ecosystems, local environments, and the various species that call these areas home. Wind farms in particular are incredibly inefficient in terms of land use, returning only 2.5 watts per square meter compared to nuclear power's 1,000 watts per square meter. While offshore wind farms could mitigate some of this land use issue, they come with their own set of environmental concerns. The long-term effects of offshore wind farms on marine ecosystems are not yet fully understood. Additionally, the majority of planned wind farm projects are still land-based. In the UK, for example, only 25 out of 271 planned wind farms over the next decade will be offshore. This raises an important philosophical question. In our rush to save the planet through renewable energy, are we inadvertently destroying the very natural world we're trying to protect? The irony of clearing vast swathes of nature to build green energy infrastructure is not lost on environmental scientists and conservationists. When comparing the safety records of various energy sources, renewables fare better than fossil fuels but still have significant impacts. Coal tops the list with 100,000 deaths per petawatt hour, followed by oil at 36,000, biomass at 24,000, and natural gas at 4,000. Among carbon-neutral energy sources, hydropower claims 1,400 lives per petawatt hour, solar 440, and wind 150, though more data is needed for wind turbine-related deaths. Surprisingly, nuclear energy, despite its negative public image, has the lowest death rate at just 90 per petawatt hour, even including major incidents like Chernobyl and Fukushima. The environmental impact of renewable energy sources extends beyond their operational phase. The manufacturing process for both wind turbines and solar panels involves the use of fossil fuels and the production of significant amounts of CO2. When averaged out over a power plant's life cycle, a single nuclear reactor and all its related industries produce a median of 65 grams of CO2 per kilowatt hour, roughly the same amount produced by wind farms over their life cycle when taking manufacturing and regular maintenance into consideration. The push for renewables has also had economic impacts. In Germany, where there has been significant investment in renewable energy and a move away from nuclear power, household energy costs have increased by 50% since the start of their renewable energy initiative. German consumers now pay almost double the price per kilowatt hour compared to their French counterparts, who rely heavily on nuclear power. This is not to say that renewable energy sources don't have a place in our future energy mix. They certainly do. However, the current trajectory of abandoning all other forms of low-carbon energy in favor of wind and solar may not be the panacea it's often portrayed to be. A more balanced approach, incorporating nuclear power alongside renewables, could provide a more sustainable and reliable path forward. Nuclear energy, particularly new technologies like thorium-based reactors, offers promising solutions to many of the challenges posed by renewables. Thorium is more abundant than uranium, produces less waste, and some reactor designs are claimed to be meltdown-proof. Countries like India are already investing heavily in thorium reactor technology, with plans to meet 30% of their energy demands with thorium reactors by 2050. A truly sustainable energy future will likely require a diverse mix of power sources, including advanced nuclear technologies, alongside continued improvements in renewable energy efficiency and waste management. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos about new energy production and storage technologies.